Good morning, class.
Good morning, madam.
Welcome to our lesson today. We are going to look at guidance and counseling for technical diploma teacher education course. We are going first of all to look at the definition of the terms. We have guidance. Guidance is a process of helping an individual understand himself and his world, or it is a process concerned with determining and providing for the developmental needs of learners, a lifelong process that involves helping individuals both as part of a group and at personal level. That's the definition of guidance. Now let's look at counseling. Counseling is an interactive process conjoining the counselee who is vulnerable and who needs assistance and the counselor who is trained and educated to give this assistance, the goal of which is to help the counselee learn to deal more effectively with himself and the quality of his environment. Another definition we can say is a series of direct contacts with the individual which aims at offering assistance in changing attitudes and behaviors. What are our main objectives today? First of all, you have to understand those terms that are given the definition. Number 2, explain the relevance of guidance and counseling in Kenyan schools. Compare the Kenyan traditional and the formal guidance and counseling approaches. Apply the theories and skills of counseling in counseling situations. Explain how students use various defense mechanisms. Help students understand themselves and be able to solve their own problems. What counseling is not? Counseling is not a conversation, is not simply two people exchanging information and opinions. Number 2, counseling is not a discussion. Different points of view are not being argued. Number 3, it is not an interrogation. The client is not being questioned in order to find out the truth. Counseling is not a convention. The client is not being moral evaluated or pardoned by the counselor. Now we have the differences between guidance and counseling. Number 1, under guidance is the body of psychotherapy, while counseling is the heart of psychotherapy. Number 2, guidance is knowledge-based. It deals with facts, principles, methods, and cognition, while counseling is affective. It is value-oriented. It deals with perception, motivation, needs, and feelings. Number 3, we have guidance is less personal and more public, while counseling is more personal, intimate, and less structured. It is interpersonal, private, and confidential. Number 4, we have guidance is informative and didactic, while counseling is largely emotional, flexible, and less didactic. Guidance is usually initiated by the counselor, while counseling is usually initiated by the client. So you have to understand those differences between guidance and counseling. Now let's go to qualities of an effective counselor. What the counselor must attain in order to be effective. One should be able to show empathy and not sympathy. Here you have to understand oneself. You be in another one's shoes rather than showing sympathy. 2, should be friendly and approachable for students, clients. For free, seek help without fear. You have to be a good listener. You should be able to listen actively and patiently to the client. You should not be non-judgmental. You should be able to tolerate antisocial behavior. Another point, one should have good standard of conduct for clients to confide in him or her. Another one should have adequate knowledge of education and vocation all matters. Last but not least, one should be able to cooperate with the colleagues in the helping relationships. We have the counseling process and skills. Under counseling process and skills, counseling is a dynamic process involving relation building and progressing in stages. Many practicing counselors see counseling process as a consisting of 4 stages. Namely, we have number 1, exploration, understanding, action, and termination. So these are the skills under the process of counseling. I've said it is exploration, understanding, action, and termination. What is exploration? Exploration means helping the clients articulate their concerns. It involves searching oneself or looking within oneself to search for hidden motives, thoughts, or feelings that clients may not be aware of. To explore, the client has to be helped to talk about themselves and their concerns in a specific and focused way. So we have goals of group counseling. We have goals of group counseling. Number 1 is to help each member of the group know and understand himself and others, to enable individuals develop increased self-acceptance and a feeling of personal worth, to develop social skills and interpersonal abilities which enable one to cope with developmental tasks in personal and social areas. I think that's the end of our lesson under guidance and counseling. Under summary, I want to summarize the lesson. You have first of all to remember that counseling is not an interrogation, it is not a discussion, it is not a negotiation, rather is to counsel a client to be able to cope up with the situations or the problems surrounding him or herself. That's the end of our lesson. Is there any question?
No question.
Good. Since there is no question, let's meet the next lesson.